Sadhanas from Ribhu Gita by His Holiness Sri Swami Shantanandapuri Maharaj. Chapter 7. Liberation from the body, that is, Videhamukti. Some scholars speak of a category of persons who is above jivanmukta, called Videhamukta. This is a matter of controversy. Adi Shankara in his Viveka Chudamani and Sri Vidyaranya in his Jivanmukti Viveka have not mentioned any category above Jivanmukta. In Ribhu Gita also, the characteristics of both are almost the same, and there are no broad and recognizable distinguishing features. This is almost like dividing a Jivanmukta into four categories like Brahmavid, that is knower of Brahman, Brahmavidvara, that is better knower of Brahman, Brahmavidvarinya, that is still better knower of Brahman, and Brahmavidvarishta, that is best knower of Brahman. Based on various sadhanas adapted and the prarabdha. The one who does not remember what is discarded or renounced and what is not is Videhamukta. He remains in a supreme silence. He is the self of all beings. He is free from the thought, I am liberated. He is free from the thought, I am liberated. He is the witness of all. He is the unborn self and is also the immortal self. Whoever meditates on I am the blissful self, the beloved self, the liberated self, he is Videhamukta. The one who does not think I am the Brahman, I am the awareness, but is just rooted in his awareness of the self, he is a Videhamukta. The one who does not have any conviction whether all objects exist or nothing exists, and who abides in the condition I am nothing else but the Brahman, is Videhamukta. The one who has no I remains in silence and is convinced that all are in silence, is a Videhamukta. A Videhamukta is the Supreme Self, beyond all the modes. Though he is the self of all, he does not accept that fact. Whether he accepts or not, he is great by all standards. Videhamukta is one for whom no differences of time, space and object exist. He has no difference of I, you, this, that, etc. He is only in the form of intense bliss. The Videhamukta is one who is the universal self, the self alone where there is no universe, the self who is in the form of the source of time itself, the self of all the gods and the self where there is no God. He is the self bereft of all insentience everywhere. He is the inner self of all and thus belongs to everybody. That alone exists. None of the objects of the world exists. Everywhere it is in the form of consciousness alone. There is nothing called awakening or enlightenment. The one who has this firm conclusion is a Videhamukta. The one who does not have any conclusion that either this world is all consciousness or that I am all consciousness, he is Videhamukta. The one who is of unlimited form, subtler than the subtlest, the pure one, the one who is beyond the state of a Jivanmukta and one who is in the form of transcendental bliss, is a Videhamukta. The one who has concluded that I am the Brahman and the world is not separate from me is a jivanmukta, is a Videhamukta. He does not have even a name, that is, as all names have been imagined. He is the self of all. He is formless. He is not an atheist who does not accept the authenticity of the scriptures. His self is nothing but the Supreme Being. He is Videhamukta. His mind remains peaceful and unagitated, whether in bondage or liberation. He is the self of all. He is the innermost self of all. He is the self who has become all the universe. He is the Supreme Self. He never goes into Samadhi, that is, he is in the Sahaja Samadhi state, a natural one whether he is awake and talking or sleeping at all times. He is the ultimate result of the Samadhi state. He cannot be said to have a goal or one without a goal. As he does not exist as an individual, you cannot say that he does not exist. A Videhamukta is one whose self is in the form of existence, awareness and bliss. He is existence, awareness, bliss embodied as a human being. His self comprises fully of existence, awareness and bliss. He has no body sense at all and has no memories of the past, as his mind has been completely deconditioned. His self is always abiding in his own self, that is, in his own existence as the awareness of being. A Videhamukta remains as pure consciousness alone, that is, just aware of his being, and all his thoughts, that is, the mind has been destroyed, never to rise again. He has no qualities, that is, sattva, rajas and tamas, or their modifications, nor their absence. He is not limited by time or space. He has nothing to perceive through his senses, nothing to remember or recall from his memory. He never resolves that something is to be done or is not to be done. He revels in infinite bliss and has renounced all enjoyments of the world. He is the witness of all, that is, no long as he sees the world, and there is nobody else to witness him. For a Videhamukta, the entire universe is non-self. He does not consider it even as the form of Brahman. He remains as his own self and is self-effulgent. The one who has no remembrance of his body, whether it was thin and emaciated or fat, is a Videhamukta. His bliss cannot be described in words. As he has no body sense, none of his senses are active and functioning. He is not even aware whether he has transcended his thoughts or not, as it takes place in a natural manner. A Videhamukta is one who has transcended all thoughts. His mind never reveals or illuminates any other object. His mind is completely bereft of all thoughts. A Videhamukta is one who is the Supreme Brahman itself, full of transcendental bliss. He is the Supreme Self and beyond all that can be called as supreme. Nobody can ever see or understand his internal form or external form. He is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. He always abides as the pure self without any attributes. He is one who is not aware of even the difference between the pure self and its opposite, that is, the individual soul or jiva. The Videhamukta is one who is always drowned in the essence of the happiness of Brahman. He is always full of the nectar, that is Amruta, of Brahman. He is always full of bliss. He always lives in the best of the nectar of Brahman. He remains rooted in the pure bliss of the Brahman. He is always chanting repeatedly the sweetness of the nectar of Brahman. Here ends chapter 7.